Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you guys a tutorial on how to create this login screen using Jetpack Compose. So let's get right into it. The first thing you're going to want to do is create a screen and then a Kotlin file for your login screen. Create a simple function, login screen as composable, and then also just a preview to display it to see what you are working on. So while we are right over here, let's quickly show you guys the colors we're going to be using. I'm going to show you how to do that. So it's going to be value purple. It's going to be one of the colors we're going to be using. And you could do that for the rest. I'll be linking in the description all the colors, so you can just add this. I'll just be copying it for now right over here to know what we're using. You can just delete these or keep them if you want to use them for later. But that looks perfect. And then for the images, just head on to your resource manager. I'll be linking these two images in the description as well for the mobile app background as well as the rocket icon. So heading back to the login screen, we can now start off by creating and styling our page. So you can just delete this text I made here. And we're going to start off by creating values for our images. So we create a painter resource .drawable .mobile app background. We could call that background image. You could just copy this, paste it for the icon image, logo image. Let me quickly, drawable rocket icon. There you have it. We have imported our two images that we could use. And then while we're at here creating values and variables, we can also create variables for our email that we're going to be using later for our input fields. So you could just go email text.remember mutable state of, and then we could just make that an empty. Sorry, I think I misspelled remember here. Alright, then we could just copy this again, create one for our password, and then also create a state for our input field. For our checkbox. So we can just call that remember me state by remember, again, keep on forgetting my M's, mutable state of, and then we could just make that default false. Alright, there we have our values and variables we'll be using throughout this design. And we can start off by creating our first box. So we can just get that over there. We can give it a modifier .fill max size. Perfect. Now we have a nice screen here and we can see what we are working with. So that is good. So within the box, we are going to start off by creating an image. We can give this a painter of our background image. We can give it a content description of null, or you could call it background image, up to you. Let's give it a modifier to style it further. Modifier, we're going to give it full max width, and let's give it let's say a height of about 185 dp. Throughout this process, there's going to be a lot of imports, so just keep track of all your imports. Okay, so now that we have our top image there, it looks perfect. We can start off by creating our first column. Within this column, we're going to have a lot of majority of our content. And we can start off by styling this column by giving it a horizontal alignment. And give it a horizontal alignment of center horizontally. We can give it a vertical arrangement. Oops, let's just quickly put this comma in here. Vertical arrangement, and then give it arrangement of top. Give this a modifier as well because we're going to be styling this. Give it a modifier full max size. as well as some padding. Let's give it a top padding of 150.dp, and then we can give it a nice background using our colors we made of dark from the colors we made. So that's imported dark. And we can also give it a shape, give that rounded corners in there, rounded corner shape, give it a top start of about 30 dp, and then top end of also about 30 dp. Perfect. Now we got that beautiful rounded corners. That's looking good. Right, so within this column we are going to create our second column. We are going to give this some styling as well. So let's head into that. We give it a horizontal alignment as well as vertical arrangement. We can just copy that from there, save ourselves some time. And then for the modifier, we're going to, for the modifier, we're going to give it a, oh, my bad, we're going to give it a padding. So horizontal 35 dp. This will make sure all the content stays within that 35 dp. And then an offset of y about, say, minus 55.dp. This will allow that icon of ours to be shifted up to a bit. Alright, so within this column we can create a box. Within this box we're going to give it a modifier. Give it about a size of 115 dp. Also give it a background. Oops. Background of yellow. So we're currently creating that icon of ours. And then give it a circle shape. Just remember to import that color we made within our theme. And there we have it, a perfect nice circle. And then we can also give it a background as well as a border. Give it a border of about 2 dp, yellow, and then also circle shape. Just import border. Alright. So within this is going to be content. So we can put a comma here and then give a content alignment. And then align that in the center. Alright, so let's get that image inside of there. Let's create an image. The painter is going to be that logo image of ours that we in the start made a value for. Content description, can also make that null. And then we can give it a modifier to get that size perfectly. Well, it is technically perfect now, but just for in case, we can create a modifier. Size 80 dp. Okay, made it a little bit more smaller. I think it fits the design. Okay, so now we've got kind of the start of it with our logo on top, as well as our background. Alright, so we can now start off by giving a spacer over here. This will space it up a bit for the title. Give it a modifier of, let's say, give it some height, about 50 dp. and we can just import spacer. Okay, so our space is right in there. Now let's give it some text. So the text is going to be login. Let me just quickly shift it up a bit. Yeah, text is going to be login. Not sure why it's not displaying. Oh yeah, the colors. Okay, give it a font size about 56 SP. 56 SP. Font weight. Give it a font weight of bold or semi-bold. And then the color white. There we go. Now it's starting to show. Give it a line height of about 40. And then give it a modifier, some spacing. Modifier dot padding about 5 dp. Okay, so now we can see our login is there. It's looking good. We'll get to the fonts in a moment, but at the moment it's looking perfect. So we could just copy this text as there's subtext. So we could use this while we're at it. Call this explore the galaxy. Going to be a bit too big now, so let's give it sizing of 20. It's looking perfect. Keep it just as is. There you go. Okay, so carrying on. Within here, we're going to create another column. Within this column is going to be all of our content. Well, not content, my bad, all of our fields. So let's start off by creating a text field. Give it a text. And then call this your email. We can give this a font size of about 16. Give it a color of white. Alright, did have your email. So we give it that color of white. We can also give it a line height. About 30 SP. And then also a modifier for some padding. Modifier.padding, we could give it 15. Okay, so there we have it, our label for our input. So let's start off by creating our text field. Perfect. Okay, so let's import this text field. It's not happy at the moment, but we'll make it happy now. Okay, let's give it a value of that email text we made in the beginning. And we can give it an onChange value of email text in it. Not in it, email text it. We can give it keyboard options. Keyboard options. Keyboard type. Then keyboard type dot email. Just import this. Oh, my bad. That's not what I want to do. Create function. No, that's not what I want to do. Keyboard keyboard options. Now we'll be able to. Well, I'm not sure why this is not able. Why can't I import this? Alright, we'll get to it. That's alright. So let's create a modifier. And then we can start styling it. Give it a full max width. We can also give it a height of about 50 dp, and then we can also give it a nice border of about 2. Give it the color white, and then the shape going to be a rounded corner shape of about 50 dp. Okay, so it's starting to look good. Give it so we can start styling the shape of it. This will give our, I think this will give our initial nice shape we want. Not yet, that's alright. Oh, it's currently paused because of keyboard options. More actions. Huh, I'm not sure why. Okay, one thing I realized is because this is not a capital. Alright, we are back. One problem we had was keyboard options was a small letter K. Just make that a capital. Now we can head on to colors. Give this a text field default dot colors, and then within here we can give it a focused text color of white, as well as an unfocused text color of white. We can give it a focused container color of our dark, and then unfocused container color of the dark as well. Alright, that looks perfect. Not looking too bad. I think I realized one thing. We can take this border out of here. Alright then, let's get back to it. Within this colors, we can also give it a focused indicator color. Well, not really. I think that is fine. I don't think that is necessary. Okay, so there we have it, our first text field within this column. So we can just go on and then create a spacer for our second input field. Give it a modifier dot height of about, let's say, 10 dp. Now we have our column. We can just copy that, paste it right in there, give some time to load. There you go. There you go. It's looking good. So we have your email twice. So we're going to want to change this to your password. Change this to our password text. And then also keyboard options. Give it password type of password. Alright. That is looking great. So let's head on by creating that row for our checkbox. So underneath this column of our second input, we can create a row and then also give this row some styling. So start off by giving it a modifier of about like full max width. Also some alignment, some vertical alignment. We're going to want center vertically, and then our horizontal arrangement, we're going to want to arrange this space between. Okay, so let's see, within the scope we can create another row for our our checkbox as well as the checkbox text. So within this row, we also have a vertical alignment. Vertical alignment. We're going to want to align this center vertically. Perfect. And then within the scope, we can create our checkbox. That is looking perfect. So for checked, whenever we created that remember me state in the beginning, you remember me state.value, and then the on change, we can do the same where we say remember me state dot value equals it. Let's just space this up a bit, make it look better. Okay. Let's just quickly, I don't know why this value is giving me problems. Not 100% sure, but that's alright for now. Okay. Just because I have to import it, rename reference. Remember me state.value. Huh. Okay. That is alright. So let's create the colors for our checkbox. So we go by checkbox defaults. Dot colors. And then we can give it checked color of white, unchecked color, also white, and then check mark color of white. I think that should do the trick. So if it's checked, it's white, unchecked. Yeah, that is looking good. Okay, so underneath this checkbox, we can create the text that says remember me, and also underneath this we can give it a color of white. Okay, so I don't know, I have some errors going here for the value. Alright, I see what the problem is here. We made something wrong here. It's a value of remember me state, which is equal to remember mutable states of. So that should fix the problem. Alright, there we have it. There's our beautiful checkbox. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so outside this row, still within the other row, we can create our text button. Give it a import text button. We can give it an on-click event. We can just at the moment call that to do. Oh. We can just leave that empty for now, looks like it. Checkbox on click empty. We can give it a modifier. And then some colors, which is part of button defaults. The text button colors, and then content color, and we can give that the yellow. All right, so we should have our button appearing now. Oh yeah, let's just give it some text. We can call this forgot password and then question mark. All right, there we have it. We have our text button as well as our checkbox. So for the last thing, we can create a spacer. This is for our already have an account sign up button. So we can create a spacer for this, give it a modifier, give it some padding. Oh, sorry, not padding, my mistake. Give it a height, say about 20 dp. Okay, now we can create a button. Within this button, we can give it an on click, make it just empty for now, where you can create your handle click events. You can create a modifier. Give this modifier full max width, as well as a height of 50 dp. We can also give it some color, some colors, and give it a colors of like button defaults dot button colors, and then give this container color purple. Just import button, just import our purple. Nope, purple. Ooh, not sure why I'm getting a problem now. Import purple. Okay. There we have it. There we have our button with a nice purple background. We can give this button a nice text of saying login. Ooh. Give it a nice text of login. We could up that size a bit. Give it a font size of 18. And then, oh, it's already white. Didn't have to give it a color. So that is perfect, just as we have a beautiful button that says login, our purple button. So underneath the button, we can create another spacer. Let me just copy this one, save some time. And then give the spacer capital. So this spacer we're going to change up a bit because we want that already have an account sign up text to be at the bottom. So we could give this, instead of a height, we can give it a weight of about 1f. Alright, now let's create our row. Give it a modifier. We'll just put that there. Modifier of full max width. Perfect. Some arrangement, horizontal arrangement of center, and our vertical alignment of center vertically. Okay, so within this row, let's create our text. We could say already have an account question mark. Give it a color of white. Give it a font size of 16 sp. Just wondering now why this is giving me problems. Oh, see what's going on here. That's my mistake. There we have it. Okay, perfect. So there we have our text, and we can have our text button with an on click, which can keep empty. And if inside of this text button, we can have our text. It says sign up. Then give it a color of that yellow. Just make it bigger. Let's give it a font size of about 16 sp. And let's give it a font weight of bold. Font weight bold. Font weight dark bold. Okay, perfect. And there we kind of have it. We created our inputs, our checkboxes, as well as our login. So we can now head on and create our font. So for fonts, within your resources route, you can create show you how it's done, create an Android resource directory, and then select here and you can create your font directory by clicking this and then OK. Within this font directory, you could just put in your .ttf file, which you could get from Google, and then that should be it. And then you can head on to your UI theme.type, and we can create this font. So if in here we have our type, we can create our value for our font we want to use. So you could do this for any font you want, but we could just call this .font family, publish new .font family, .font family, and then give it a font, and then within that resource file .font, that you quickly import all of this before it's giving me problems. And then from our resource file, that font we just made, publish new _ regular, we can create that, and then our font weight, we can just make it black for now. Well, we can just make it black. You can change this up like you want. If you want to make more types, so you can make it like this on top of here, like the default, the normal, bold, or regular. But this is fine for now. Let's change this up. Publish new font family. Alright, so now we can head on back to our login screen and then give this big login over here. We can give it our font family. Font family. Fonts family. Oh, should have it somewhere here. Oh, my bad. Made a mistake. We can just import it straight away. Publish new font family. Boom. Then we have the login. We could maybe just give it some letter spacing. Letter spacing of 0.7% EM. Perfect. That's looking good. So you can change the font like you want with the font family just by importing all of your fonts. But that about covers it for creating the login screen. So we can start a UI mode. Oh, not UI, check. My mistake. We can create interaction mode. We can input our emails, password, login, sign up, and there you have it. Oh, it looks like the password is not so just don't forget here for visual transformation, password, visual transformation, and then that should hide the password when it's being inputted. There we go. Alright, that covers it for my tutorial on creating a login screen using Jetpack Compose. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned a few things. This was quite a fun experience for me, as well as a learning experience of learning Kotlin as a language for creating Android apps. But yeah, that covers it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.